Scoom. All right.
Hi, Joe, just give me 5 minutes. I just want to help you real quick.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Big Scoom,
It's Tyler John the Don.
and this is
Scoom Speech.
What would happen if you treated each day as a complete life in miniature?
You would definitely probably live really stoically. You'd probably not let everything get to your emotions. That's probably how. And what I mean by that is the way that you would take each and every situation you go through throughout the day, probably with a grain of salt. Like by But think about it. By 9 a.m. on, I would say, normal people's standards, right? Going to work for a 9 to 5 or whatever. By 9 a.m., they're probably already frustrated at least 2 or 3 times on a regular Monday through Friday, right? So if you went through your day starting at, let's say, 5:30 in the morning, starting early, went through your few disciplines, and you feel like I've already personally conquered the day, there's nothing no one else can tell me, and you go through every moment like that and just specific for that, you would deal with a lot less frustration because you would be thinking clearer. And one principle would just line up to the next. One discipline, I would say, would line up to the next. So you have a bunch of disciplines. My only goal is to get this one thing done. And you would just focus on the day like that. We wouldn't think about tomorrow for sure. If you want to re-ask your question again after I'm done going in, go for it. But yeah, we wouldn't get bothered by much of anything. We wouldn't fall off our discipline because in theory, in our head of thinking that way, we only have today. We only have the 24 hours.
I like your answers, right? So basically, you said you'd live stoic. Now, where my mind's going is, think of it like this, because you kind of say this in the same sentence. You didn't say this, but it's also still said. Is it like, I'm trying to think how to word it. In some sense, you said the reason why we don't live stoic or react emotionally is because we're thinking too much about the future. Because with no future, just today, I don't have to. Maybe I don't blow up emotionally. But now, tons of things in the future, like all those linked, is blowing up emotionally or not living stoic, linked to their us thinking of this massive big future and potential.
What's the rest of my eternity going to look like? And if you're angry in this moment and going through this whole thing of anger, what's that going to lead you to anyway? That's kind of the question I'm trying to get out of it as well. Like, yeah, if you're angry for 5 minutes or angry for a whole day, what are you trying to get out of that?
Well, when it comes to the emotion side, like that's no mystery for me. Like I know, and I've said it a million times. As soon as I started explaining it, you would know. So the mystery, there's no mystery when it comes to, oh, why is this person in the emotional state that they're at? That's simple. That's easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where I got all like we talk about like going out of frame until we're like, what the heck's going on? I got hit with that instantly when, again, the question was basically, you know what it was, and then you were like, oh, we would just live stoic. So doesn't that mean the reverse of that? We don't live stoic because we're thinking of the future too much? Like, that's where I'm like getting all shell shocked. Like, whoa, like that part of emotion is a mystery. I don't get that. How are those related? And I think they are. I don't know how.
I think maybe it's linked if we're going to try to create a parallel here. Maybe.
Well, it was your sentence. You created the parallel. I disagree with it. I do agree with it.
So I know, but I'm thinking now.
That's why it's so funny how it works, because it's like you said it. Well, you didn't say it, but you kind of said it. It can be said. Yeah, it wasn't said, and it's true. So like, how the heck does language? Like, how does all this work, dude? It's crazy.
I want to get back to this one. You would remain. I believe you would remain stoic because, well, like I said, I mean,
Well, that part I agree with. That
what?
part, yeah,
Yeah.
boom, I agree. Just the inverse of that statement is something is like. Do you get what I mean by the inverse? The opposite of that. People
Right.
don't live stoic because we think of because there are so many tomorrows to come.
Right. And I'm trying to find in my head a way to disagree with what you're saying with that. Oh,
No.
we just act up and act like a fool and lose our mind because I could fix it tomorrow? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to combat that right now because I don't like that at all. Like,
here's what's funny though. Here's what's funny. I didn't say that. You said that. Here, we'll rewind time real quick, right?
mm-hmm.
I said, what would happen if you treated each day as a complete life in miniature?
I said you would act stoic.
So boom. So doesn't that mean the opposite then? If there was no tomorrow, we would act stoic. So isn't what you're also saying the opposite? Well, we don't act stoic if there's millions of tomorrows to come.
Right. I agree with you. So yeah,
that was your sentence, not mine.
Well, I agree with me then too.
Yeah.
Either way, right.
That's why that's where the mystery for me, because I'm like, how is that? Like, why? Like, how does that make much sense? But I mean, I guess I get it. I get it without getting it because it's like that cliche, like the live in the moment cliche, which I never really even got until kind of just now. Like, I always thought that just meant like how it sounds, like be present or be happy with what you got, blah blah blah.
I think a lot of humility goes into that. I don't think it's. You want to say that comment one more time? What's the phrase?
Live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
But where I was going with that really quick was
make the most out of everything, I guess.
Well, no, because now what we just, whatever you want to call what we just did, now it also means be stoic.
Yeah. Live in the moment, be stoic. Yes. Okay, be present.
Yeah, well,
right?
Stop thinking about the futures because that's just going to come with emotional roller coasters and all the stuff we just kind of said how they're related without saying they're related. If life is only experienced moment by moment, how meaningful is the story we tell ourselves about it?
Oh, well, everything you tell yourself is, I'm convinced I'm convinced right now through everything I've been studying that everything you tell yourself is ShamWow, buddy. You've got to ask other people and things like that. And like, because our own opinions are our own beliefs, and that can go as crazy or as the opposite of crazy as you want. Can you ask your question one more time? Because my mind went in every direction.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm wondering if I'm projecting here or if there's some fact in it, but because it uses that expression moment by moment. I wonder if that's the same as like be stoic, man. But anyways, if life is only experienced moment by moment, how meaningful is the story we tell ourselves about it?
Yeah, the end of this really kills it for me because I've learned to listen to myself with a grain of salt as well, just as much as anyone else. So
that's a weird answer. Because I didn't think this was up for debate. I know it's still a question, but I feel like even this question, or maybe it's just the lens that I interpret it at, is like wink, wink. It's super meaningful, buddy. Not like, oh, is it generally meaningful? That's up for you to decide. I thought it was implicit in the question that it's of the utmost meaning. Yet here you are, a completely different entity, saying, "Oh no, man, it's neither here nor there." Is it?
I don't know. I'm extremely passive, I guess, but the first part I love because, like you referred it back to the stoic lens on that is every moment is crucial because we should live as if every day is our whole lifetime. Because at the end of 100 years, which we're talking about in 24 hours, what do you want to be remembered as, right? So that's why I take I take that very personally and very seriously. Of I want to be remembered as somebody that was righteous and would do the right thing. And if a building was burning and there was a baby in there, I would run in and grab it. Like, I don't know. My life
I
is
wonder.
as I have done, so you should do, as Jesus said. And look how he died. You know what I'm saying? So I don't.
I wonder, because I don't know, and depending on how you look at it, I don't know. You would just think living moment by moment, or there's no tomorrow, and all this, like kind of what we thought is another way to talk about being stoic or invoking stoicism. You would think if that was the reality, you think it would be the opposite of stoicism. It's like, geez, if I only have this moment, then I don't know. It's more reason to, I don't know, like, I don't know, I don't know, like.
Do exactly what you want and not what you must. Is that
Well,
what
I
you're
don't mean
thinking?
that either at all. No,
Oh,
what I
okay.
meant is,
I was thinking. I was like, what's he going with right now?
I was just thinking if it's moment by moment, right?
Yeah.
I got one moment, one shot. This is all that matters. Is just one little moment. I'm thinking, oh, isn't that more reason to act emotionally, not the opposite?
No, see, I thought that's where you were going with that, and
Yeah.
I was trying to nip it even earlier, but no way, buddy, no way, no
Doesn't
way.
don't those feel maybe not seem, but don't those feel like contradictions?
They could feel that way. I agree.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, it could be even up for interpretation, and I'll loosen my rope on my grip. But whenever we're racing through life, right, and then I'm further ahead because you're over here chasing the pie in the windowsill, and I'm freaking chasing the bag or whatever I need for the day. We'll find out who got further because someone's emotional and following their pie, or this pie could be whatever you want to say. But then the other person's chasing righteousness, and then who's going to get further anyway?
I don't know. It's interesting how you did that. That's like this right here just proves how important it is that like the narrative that we give to our stories because
Yes.
how we
See,
like them.
and this is why I only believe my story. I give myself so little. I'm an animal, dog. I don't care what people be saying on me.
Well, it's just interesting how automatically you made reacting emotionally like it had to be negative for you. Like that person who's
Not
living moment
negative,
to
but it's going
moment.
to take either
Yeah,
way.
you did.
Acting emotionally is going to take you off your main goal, off your track. Acting emotionally is not going to get you someplace maybe as beneficial. I don't think that the fear or the feeling and the emotion of chasing greatness is going to last as long as the feeling of anger and I'm never going back there again. There's two different feelings. There's one that's pushing, and there's the other one's casually walking around with you, like I'm here. You know, I'm ready to be obtained when you're ready to give it to me. But if not,
Well,
and you're cool with it being right here, we're not going to push the wall to get to it.
well,
That's
hold up.
my
You're throwing out like 7 different lines at once. Like you threw out a line of, you know, being emotional and going towards hedonic pleasure. You know, just because someone's emotional doesn't have to mean they're only chasing pleasure.
I agree.
And then,
I agree.
eh,
And if
eh,
I must, I will retract.
well, it's just that yeah, like you're freaking firing in all directions. But so that, and I'm not even criticizing it. It's just interesting how your mind instantly went there. That first one was cherry pie and chasing that, as opposed to chasing like success. And so that's like, yeah, it's like whatever narrative you've been telling for your story, it brings you there automatically. And then
I'm not chasing pie, brother.
I'm not trying to say that either. I'm not trying to be critical of you at all. I'm just explaining what happened and how it's kind of ties together to at least that last question. Like how if they're all moment to moment, how do the narratives piece everything together for someone? And I'm just psychoanalyzing you. This is what happened. And because and then obviously, well then yeah, I see it differently, right? I see it a little bit differently. I mean, I guess I think at least that last point, I think the answer is probably if someone's on a path to success, no matter what they're using for their fuel, whether it's tons of emotion or tons of rationale and logic, if they're on the path to success, there's nothing that's going to stop them in some sense, right? Like no matter
I
where
agree.
they're coming from. So, is it possible to live fully without planning for the distant future? That's an impossible question.
Yeah, right. Because
It's no, right? Only if you're a child.
yeah, right. I don't know. Because yeah, not as an adult, no way. Because you're already doing all things hopefully as an adult, you're already doing all things that are your responsibilities and duties to cover, right? And as an adult, we understand that we don't live life one day at a time. Well, I don't want to word it like that. We understand that there is a tomorrow and there is a future. We understand our age and then the expectancy. And we understand at some point our bodies won't keep up with the amount of work and labor we're able to do younger. So we have to stack our acorns for that. So no way. I mean, I would say you could, yes, but only eventually. Yeah, eventually that has to come to an end, and you have to plan for the future, and your actions show that.
Yeah, it's a pretty impossible question because it's like you can live fully for the couple, like you said, for that little bit, but once
Yeah, eventually, buddy.
yeah.
I mean, you gotta do what they call growing up, and you gotta get your money in order. You gotta get your diet in order. You gotta get, you gotta everything, man. Mind, body, soul. Gotta get it all in order, buddy. You gotta control every aspect about yourself besides your heartbeat. And if you can, congratulations.
This question kind of goes with the last one, but does imagining every possible outcome limit your ability to act decisively?
I would say, I want to say yes, because you've got to narrow it down. I mean, yeah, there's every possible outcome, but until you start putting some of those outcomes through a real life test, you can imagine them. Yeah, sure, that's fun. That's fun all day. Imagining and, oh, I want to own a pet unicorn and all this. Imagining, yeah, buddy, go achieve it then. Let's see something. Go get a unicorn. So
This
it
is just, these last
it does limit your success, because you're not actually you're not putting anything into action. You're not trying anything. Until you actually start picking things up, trying, failing, and then standing back up and trying and failing 8 more times, and stand up on the 9th time and try again. Now you might succeed around the 10th or 11th time.
but these two questions kind of show how impossible it is to be a human. You can't really sit there and just go through all possible outcomes where the opportunity would pass you. And then you'd be like, dang, I was only halfway through my freaking formula to figure it out, and it's already gone now. And you can't even, so because of that, like I've been saying lately, like, so now we can never have truth absolute because we can't take the time to go figure it all out before we need to act. So that's impossible. And then it's impossible because do you live in the, like, are you living for the now, or are you living for the future? Now you got to do more thinking. Like, it's like impossible to act, dude. So it just I'm just doubling down on, dude, we are wrong 99.9% of the time. We have to be wrong all the freaking time just to move.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Was I saying yes or no in the beginning? I don't remember what my answer even was, but yeah, no, that's the outcome I was trying to come to as well. Was there's no way you can sit down and then come up with a good conclusion of anything without putting in all of the trials and errors and all of that. I don't remember what I said, but that's what I'm saying anyway.
It's so crazy that we're all freaking massively wrong, yet can go along with each other, man. Isn't that mind-blowing?
I know, and that's why I tell you, like, even the story I tell myself about myself is, I don't know, dude. I gotta ask other people what they think about me, and then maybe agree with them somewhere in the middle. If they don't say I'm an animal at all, then I definitely don't agree with that person.
Yeah, it's weird that, because when you word it like a story, it's weird to think. It's weird to think of your own story. So weird, yeah. Because,
dude, and our story changes so much. Think about your own story. Think about the differences between middle and high school, and then think about let's say the last 10 years of being out of high school. Like, even ourselves is so crazy.
Well, what I meant about the crazy part of it is just what we just came to. It's all freaking wrong anyways, man. Damn. Like, the whole freaking story, whatever I think, it's all about my story is all incorrect, dude. What the heck?
And is that because of perception of it? Like your angle or version versus maybe someone else that might view you, or just the way I view it versus the way I should really view it of me, of my like your own self. What do you mean here?
That's a really deep question because I didn't even mean it that deep.
My bad.
No, no,
This is
no,
just
no.
how my brain works.
No, it's good. It's actually brought me to the point where I get to hit that wall of I don't exactly know because I was just going off just the little formula of there's too many possible outcomes. It's impossible to go through all of them. So I have to just act like one of them's good enough for me to believe in. So I can go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Right.
But I would probably say I would keep it rooted in that fact and just say it would have to be because my perspective can never be right because of what we just said.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be the perspective part of it. And then even someone else giving it to me, yeah, same. It's just they have that same freaking existential human problem that we're talking about too. So it's like, dang, well, you can't be right either, man.
I know. You know what I just think? You know what this made me think of? I'm not gonna start calling candles anymore. I'm gonna start calling them like a scent bowl or something. Because can you tell me I'm wrong? Like it is just a scent jar.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, and it's
Another human can't really disagree. I'll be like, what do you mean? Just smell the jar and it smells, right?
I mean, the reason why, and it's super childish, but the reason why that's a fact, right? Because someone might say, dude, that's dumb, that's stupid.
Of course they will. I hope they do.
But there is some rooted, kind of non-delusional fact in it. It's like, all right, well, sure, yeah, it's a candle today. What are these called in 2,000 years? I don't know. I don't have enough time to figure that out. Okay, so it can't be true. It can't be absolutely true that this is a candle.
Exactly.
What were these called 2,000 years ago? Like, so it's just not. It's kind of childish, but it's still a fact that like our mind, and it's how all things are that we do, man. It's like if someone says something stupid or whatever, it doesn't discount that it's still a fact. Like this is a fact, dude. That's a fact.
I know. If I say red truck, I want everybody that hears the word red truck to hit the like button if you thought of a fire truck.
All right, here we go. How does our brain decide which future possibilities to take seriously and which to ignore?
Emotional.
Ah.
Did you say which side of our brain? I only backed half the question.
Nope. Emotional. What do you mean?
My bad. Ask the question one more time because I was emotional and just emotionally answered.
Dang, every question I got to ask twice. B, I need to get a pad and paper.
I do.
Might have to start printing transcripts for this bitty. How does our brain decide which future possibilities to take seriously and which to ignore? You said emotion.
Yeah, I know, and I'm doubling down on it too. I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're right. How do you know you're right though? That's the funny part of it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to word right now. Well, I was gonna double down on emotion, even if you told me I was wrong. That's my perspective. And
no,
I like being wrong.
Perspective can be opinions can be wrong. Never forget that.
I'm trying to think on how exactly I want to word that though. Well, yeah, it's just whatever you're attracted to. I want to say, or wherever you feel comfortable, which is another personal view on your life, what you want to get out of it, and what you personally feel comfortable around all day. I know I couldn't work in a dog shelter emotionally. I couldn't handle it. Just sad dogs abandoned in a building all day. It's terrible.
What's interesting about comfort? Let me know if you agree. Is it impossible to feel comfort in an environment you don't know? Or should I say, is it possible to?
I want to say yes. I want to say yeah. You can feel comfortable in an environment that you're unaware of, and I say that because I think it's inside of you. I think it's like.
Prove it. Give me a hypothetical.
Well, I know. How come my brain immediately went to jail? Like, oh yeah, people get thrown in jail, but then they find comfort, like, or they don't. I mean, I guess. I think that's why I said super personal, though.
Well. No, here's we can fundamentally disagree, at least at first, because, like we said in a couple other podcasts, and like now pretty well, your environment changes.
Oh, based on how you view it.
Yep. Yeah.
So then, yeah, the answer is still yes. If you view it as a place or an area that's not freaking terrifying. Well, how come now my brain went to the movie Saw, the franchise of the bathroom?
Yeah.
My brain went to that, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I was there.
Well, hold
I
up,
don't.
hold up. I need you.
Nothing matters who you're with. That's scary, dog.
No. I want you to choose a side first. Here's the
Mhm.
question again: is it possible?
It is possible. I'm still saying, yeah, it's possible.
Okay, it's possible. Now you brought up the jail,
Yep.
and you brought up either or. You can first go there and feel comfortable, or first go there and feel uncomfortable. Now, how I interjected with what you're looking at can change depending on the easiest way to word it is how you view it. It's the easiest way. It's way deeper than that. But how you view it. Now, isn't it just that they are looking at a comfortable place? Isn't that just how they're viewing it, and that's why they're comfortable? Because I think the answer is no. I definitely think the answer is no.
no.
Absolutely,
Dude,
yeah.
I really don't think so. I don't think the answer is no, because
Well, answer the question then.
I think that comfort comes from within you. Honestly, you can feel comfortable anywhere, in the middle of the woods or.
Well, hold up. My last
anywhere.
question you're saying no to then. My question was to the person who goes to jail, and let's say, in your hypothetical, you imagine you met this the first time, right?
Yes, right. And
Just
probably even young, buddy. I'm in my mind, when I said jail, I'm thinking of a young man, like maybe 20, between 20 and 22, getting thrown in here and believing in himself and being comfortable with himself and not being worried about any external thing at all. And yeah, finding comfort, being able to find comfort in that. If it's meditation, mind warping, freaking self denial, I don't know. But
Here's
possible.
See, I'm not ignorantly disagreeing with that, right? I'm not.
Yeah, that's okay. Believe what you want to. That's what
No,
this is
I
all
don't
about.
think. No, I don't think you should tell people that either. No,
Oh, don't tell people that. Yeah,
I
no,
don't
that
think
can
so
get
either.
crazy. That could get crazy.
But, and again, I'm not ignorantly disagreeing. I am learned disagreeing because, and just try to hear me out.
I'm listening.
That 22-year-old who goes to jail for the first time gets put in that environment. He is, because we'll use your analogy, because he's so confident in himself. He's so, comfortable with himself. All the adjectives you use, because he's so of that, he sees through a lens that sees a comfortable place.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you agree with or not. But that is in some sense the truth. That is in some sense the reality of it.
Yeah,
the
way he views it.
Yes, he now views it as a comfortable place.
Well, I have a question.
Which disproves that point of, oh yeah, you can be in an uncomfortable place and still feel comfortable. No, it's just that he's so whatever in himself that all he sees is comfortable places, and that's why he can feel it's not an uncomfortable place now, an uncomfortable environment. It's a comfortable environment because he's him and he always feels comfortable in his environments, and that'd be the only reason how that would be possible. And I think.
But is that not conquerable?
Well, no, the question was, because I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible to be in an uncomfortable environment. Not objectively uncomfortable comfortable environment, because that doesn't exist. We don't freaking know what that means. No such thing as an objective comfortable place. No, it's subjective to you and what you know and how you feel and all your preferences and all your desires and all the things you can't do, because it all has to be rooted in beliefs that can't be true anyways. They all have to be from you and subjective and all this other, so complex.
Yeah.
That the environment and how you feel are so linked and so intertwined. I don't think you can even really almost separate it in some sense.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Dang, like here's another way to word it.
What a crazy full circle that was.
Well, here's another way to word it.
Okay.
When you're in an uncomfortable, when you are in a comfortable environment, is it more of because the environment's comfortable, or is it because of how the environment makes you feel? Your bedroom. Is it because it's your bedroom, or is it because it is your bedroom that you're comfortable? I don't think they can be separated.
Yeah, I know. I know. But people move, right? Because my brain went to this. You move, you relocate. But you could or you could not bring what we would call maybe familiar attachment things, like a water bottle and my glasses. You could theoretically, it probably wouldn't feel comfortable for a little bit, right? Like getting all new brand new stuff and then moving into a brand new location with brand new neighbors, state, let's say state. Would it still be comfortable or not?
Well, you already answered your question.
Yeah, my answer is still yes. I mean,
No, that's not what you just answered with. You said
it would be uncomfortable for the first night
yeah. So
because it's still something new, unaware kind of thing.
when it goes from uncomfortable the first night to comfortable the following nights, it's not because the environment changed. It's still the same environment. It's still the same room. It's still the same walls. It's still the same air.
Yep.
It's not the environment that changed. That's
It's
kind of what
lens. It was your frontal lobe or something, the way you viewed it.
it's I mean, that's a good way to start. It comes more from like the action.
The nervous system. Oh, sorry. What? My bad.
Well, just kind of like what we've been saying lately. It's like you can't really know something until you've actually like
experienced it, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's kind of more like that. Well, it is basically that, and then it branches from there.
Well, that's why I brought it to moving, because that's something you and we're both young adults or whatever you want to call it. We both moved before, probably a lot. So,
well, it's now
I'm trying to reflect on times that I've moved. I'm trying to reflect on times I've moved. I'm trying to reflect on times that I have taken things and then things I haven't taken things too.
Well, it's not the things, I don't think, T. It's not the things. It's not the environment.
It's not the bonding. Well, no, I agree with you when it's the lens. I agree with that. Well, what my first question was that led me down in all this was, is it nervous system that works with these lens and all of this stuff as well?
It's a good way to put it. Could probably branch it, but it's like fundamentally, it's just you can't get comfortable in any environment until you've like acted into it, like acted in it.
Yeah.
So that, and it's impossible. At least I think, we could be wrong here, but I think it's kind of impossible to be comfortable with an environment that you have not yet interacted with. So that's why I think
my brain went to something I know we haven't interacted with. My brain, volcano.
anything. And it's like the unknown. It's like what we were texting about earlier today. It's like the unknown is always linked to like anxiety.
Yeah, true. Right. Because of, well, I think it might have been Marcus Aurelius said that anxiety only comes from thinking too much of the future.
I think well, that's true. And I think there's no getting rid of it, because we, being as cognitive as we are, we must know, we must think that we know how to behave in the environment. We have to think that, or we'll feel anxious. If we don't know how to behave, that's why I think your bedroom's comfortable to you, because like you know how to act in there. You know how to do verbs in there. You know how to move your body, be who you are, like act. Who you are, who you act. It's so rooted. So yeah, you just know the reason why environment's comfortable is because you know how to act there. That's it, I think.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something with that. You know how to act there. That's the only reason why.
Because you can't strip it away from any environment that you're comfortable in. Every environment you're comfortable with, you know exactly how to act
blend in. Yeah. If it's a nightclub or your bedroom, right? Like, you know how to, well, at least, I don't know. Like I said, we're middle-aged men. We know how to act in the nightclub.
I was thinking my car. I was like, my car is like, I know exactly how to act when I'm in my car. Gas pedal in, right? It's like,
okay.
No matter what it is.
Yeah,
so if you don't know how to act, you don't know how to act, I think it's impossible to feel comfortable in there.
Yeah.
And then you can't know how to act until you, like you said, until you've interacted with it, right?
Yeah. And if I experienced it, I still don't know how to act in a library, bro. Oh well. Menace,
that's
man.
that's what it's like. That's why the hero's journey and all those stick with us so much, because we always want to know how to act. It regulates our emotions.
Yeah. You could tell who most likely has a superhero if you go to the gym, bro. I promise. I really think so. I think that people that go to the gym are inspired by a superhero.
I don't know. You think people believe in superheroes still, or like not believe, but
Not
whatever.
believe,
Put
but
hope, faith.
you gotta have something to inspire to be, right? Maybe. Well, I just made the mistake to where I did it in another episode too. Of we say the word superhero when we think of something Marvel or DC, and a superhero doesn't have to wear a cape, man.
I like that.
So what does a superhero look like, and how do they act? Right? How do they behave? As we agree here, they save someone. Usually, they're savior, right? They're protecting or saving or guiding someone else to something more positive or better than the situation they're in currently. We could agree.
Can you put that full circle to what we just talked about?
Yeah, I'm working on it. So you must look a certain way as well. So that's what would also inspire us to look a certain way. So if this situation could arise, we could be physically able to help in any manner that we must. So, but full circle back to what we were talking about, how a superhero teaches us how to behave.
Yeah, where do they go? Fundamentally,
Yeah,
not abstractly.
fundamentally, where do they go? They go to bed, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. What do you mean by that?
What's the example you brought up? Or like when they go save the 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 heroine in distress from the dragon, or when they go do their superhero stuff, where do they go?
Towards the chaos? I don't.
Towards the unknown.
Okay, towards the unknown, sure. And
Yeah.
unknown is always chaos. So I was right on it anyway.
Yep. Just like when we go to the environment that we've never been in before, it's that same. I can almost say
Unpredictability.
feeling.
Yeah. I call it the unpredictability, but yeah, feeling, emotion. Yeah, I would agree with that too.
I think the unpredictable is great. I think that's a great way to put it. Absolutely. There's nothing scarier than an environment where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, yep.
You want to leave.
Well, yeah, naturally, your nervous system is kicking you out of the freaking door. Like, dude.
Yep. So that's why when the superhero goes into that space, literally or figuratively, does a superhero pose, and whatever, makes it out or whatever, turns it into a super known place where Fudge knowing how to act, he is the act in that biddy. That's when we're like starstruck, like wow, like if we could only do that, we can't even go to the freaking, you know what I mean, to the freaking nightclub or whatever, someplace uncomfortable, wherever.
Yeah, right. It's also interesting. Did you, when I was talking about superheroes, by any chance, did you think of like an all-star athlete?
No, I mean, I'm very impressionable. Anything that I like, I want to be like, man, anything. So I went to anime, dude. I just automatically went to anime, man. Automatically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What about you? Where'd you go? Freaking.
Well, like I had said, the first time I was thinking of Superman for a superhero, I was comparing superheroes, and I saw Superman, like the comic book cover where he's standing on top of the thing and the cape is waving. That's what I first saw. But yeah, no, I'm glad that I tackled it into a more realistic hero, which would be someone hopefully on the righteous side of, I would say, law enforcement or fire department or something along those lines.
It's interesting because you said how heroes don't wear capes, and it's like, man,
I've
it's
always
really
made that.
well. It's just like, man, it's really easy to be a hero. Then all you gotta do is just go into the unpredictable area and
Know how to act.
yeah, it's more or less, and then yeah, everyone's like, wow, man, this guy's something. This person's something. Something. I don't know. It's just weird. Like
something
Automatically.
inspirable, something inspiring, maybe we could say, right? Like,
Yeah.
because I think all that would be is acting the way that we all desire to act, but we all, I believe, lack the courage. Not we all, because a lot of people really do this. A lot of people really do this. Like, let's not discredit people that really run into burning buildings on a regular basis.
There's something else I really, because I for a while was super fascinated with like basically this mythical story, and that was one of the reasons why I really liked Jordan Peterson and why he really liked Jung. Because
Hmm.
basically, where I'm getting at, and my question that I used to know pretty intimately is they would say, oh, like if you go into the unknown and achieve something, it's always more gold than like if you didn't freely choose to go there and go confront it.
Yeah.
And I used to remember why that was, but I can't remember. But isn't that weird? Like, why? It's and what I mean by weird is like more like, isn't that weird that that's how the world acts? Like the world acts like that,
Yeah.
whatever that even means. Like, I don't mean the
Um,
people in the world either.
You're right, right. No, it's just the way everything behaves
Yeah,
and it's acceptable, right? It's accepted.
I don't even know if
Another,
that's a good word.
another one I was thinking of, I think I heard this earlier today. Oh, maybe you just asked me this. I don't remember, but it was a fire question. It said, how naive are we all that we all believe that our own goals that we think we're working towards right now really mean this in the long term? I think that's along the lines of it. I think it was Marcus Aurelius, but I thought that was a good one. He was like, how do you actually know that this is what the a positive outcome of the long term goal is going to be, or something like that.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because you know,
You're doing all of this expecting it to be good, and then in 50 years of you doing it, it's now somehow like, oh well, if I could have done it different, I would have. And we hear this all the time with older people. You and I ask older people, I don't want to call them old people, but older than us people, questions all the time of, oh, one of my favorite questions is, if you could go back and do it all again, what would you do differently? Or sometimes they just tell me, like, oh yeah, well, if I was your age, then I would have done this different, you know? So, and it's so interesting that nobody really doubles down on what they've done in their life ever. Everyone would always do something different.
I always see the opposite whenever I hear that. They always say, "Oh, I have no regrets. I'm here now." Yeah, that's what I always hear when people
Hey,
answer
that's
that.
good, dude. I'm happy you hear that. Why the heck people telling me so much different? I don't know. People don't like themselves.
Well, it's interesting what you said about potentially the Marcus Aurelius quote, because so many people set their goals on like making money and make a bunch of money from like just all the social media and all the stuff we see. And like back to the quote that you referenced, like for like so much of us are convinced like that's gonna make us happy, man. And it's kind of what I called it. I think I called it sad or something, but
It is
yeah,
sad.
man. It's
I
like
would I would say, I think my personal opinion on this, for all that it matters, the 2 cents you might be able to rub together, but I think that learning to live life with less is the true way to happiness. I think that, and I believe this, that personal health, having a healthy mind, body, and soul, and then raising healthy children to follow the same obediences or disciplines that you might have yourself on, I think that's where happiness really is centered. I think that love and joy and happiness all comes from that. Seeing people around you that you also want to see do good, being able to actually do good, you know?
yeah, of course it's different for all of us.
Right.
And
That's why I said it's my opinion.
and the money thing, man, so many people believe is for them. And I just not convinced, man. I think there's a real small percent of people on the planet who genuinely would, derive absolute bliss from just having a bunch of money. I really don't think it's really like that's really gonna make everyone happy. It's well, in some sense it can't be because well, I shouldn't say can. It's just super unlikely 100% of us would all feel like that. I don't know. For me, I think it's more of like a process. I think it's like if you can fall in love with that process.
Mm.
So it's similar to yours, because yours is a process too. I mean, I guess everything's a process.
Like, yeah.
So
Well, it all comes from what I said was discipline. And your discipline doesn't have to look like mine. And yours looks different than mine.
how do you define discipline? That's been your buzzword lately. How do you
So what? How do you find it?
how do you define discipline? That's been
Oh,
your
how do you
buzzword lately.
define it? That's something that I think a discipline, I use it interchangeably with the word habit, but I don't like the word habit so much because every time you hear the word habit, it's like drop that like a bad habit, air quote kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think the word habit is not a good word. And I think the word discipline is better. I think the word discipline means that you're working towards something. You read a book more frequently or whatever it might be, exercise, run, if that's your thing, whatever. But those disciplines is something that it takes work. It's a process, and it's something that you have to keep doing, or else, well, you could slip into everything that you were doing before you started these disciplines, and obviously that wasn't working. So you develop disciplines, things that you work towards, and usually they're exhausting or
Well,
less.
for me, discipline, I don't know, still feels, I don't know, maybe almost too mild. And I know it's supposed to be like a pretty radical word.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. I agree with you. Whenever I hear the word discipline, I think of like your dad getting the belt, chasing your ass.
to me, it feels mild because it's like, doesn't, when you, I don't know how you use it. And I know you really been using it a lot lately. So it means a lot, but doesn't it feel like there's too much choice or too much option?
There is too much choice. And do you choose to be a baby crying on the curb? Or do you choose to be an animal walking through the woods by yourself because you feel fine in all your environments because you look at everything through a lens like that?
You're right, but I didn't quite mean it like that. Like here,
No,
let's
that's
see.
how I meant it.
Let's say I'm like, oh, this is pretty freaking arrogant to say, but let's say I was like, oh yeah, I'm a very disciplined person. Like, what is first things you would start thinking?
I want to find out what you aren't disciplined with if you say you are very disciplined.
Basically, what you're saying is you would think, oh man, maybe this person isn't that disciplined, right? Kind of a piece of you,
Yeah,
a part
kind
of
of,
you.
right? You kind of almost discredit them a little bit. And then you're like, let's see what I can find out about them that might say otherwise, kind of thing, you know? And it's a
That's,
good thing, though, in my opinion, it's a good thing because we should all test each other in that. Like, man, at least, right?
I mean, my mindset's a little bit different, but not to the first point you made, because I agree. And that's exactly what I would think too. And that's exactly what I meant by there's too much choice in it. And what I mean by that is when someone is talking about how disciplined they are, they're saying like, oh, I could choose not to be disciplined, but I just choose discipline. Like there's too much choice in that. Like where I'm getting at is like, oh, I think the people who are really disciplined, like they don't even really see it as discipline because it's not a choice, man. Like there is no choice.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you get,
after a while, your discipline becomes your habit, right? It's just a way of life and things like that. You no longer have to force yourself to go to the gym or talk yourself into reading one more page or a chapter in a book, and no longer have to convince yourself to eat healthy versus, garbage and things like that. So you no longer have to if your discipline in the beginning is getting away from your phone more often, then eventually it would just be a way of life. So I agree.
so you see
I
how,
can
yeah,
I
so you
can see
see how,
where I can see in a long term how disciplines becomes just a way of life, and now it's no longer discipline or a choice. But I don't know because a small part of me still disagrees with this because there's always going to be that one thing in your head trying to talk you out of all those things. Like, oh, it's okay though. Go eat that donut though. Like something's going to try to soften you up, and then your discipline has to come in and fight that back.
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are right because
Yeah.
we're faced with one an infinite's not even the right word. We're faced with an infinite amount of choice at every freaking second. So
Every second. And we live in a world that soda is cheaper than water.
yeah, and infinite's
So is that going to encourage you to drink more water? No, this Dr. Pepper tastes too good. Dude, I've been having a big struggle with staying off soda.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here we are. Hey, if
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's dirty in my body, I'm all right with that, though. But
There you go.
it isn't often. It isn't often.
There you go. Boom. Well, that's it, baby boy. I'm wrapped up, baby.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out on another Scoom Speech episode.